Okay, so here's what I've got for you so far. Let's see here. So this is a syllabary that we'll be going over, obviously. Okay, I figured we start off with OCO. Since, everybody, that's one word everybody knows. Let's see here, sorry. Okay, so this is how I figure, well, how I remember. Oh, I always think, oh, no, you didn't. So, the reason why I picked O for O is because if you look closely, the word O is actually in the syllabary. That's what I always think. I'm like, oh, it's kind of hidden in there. Let's see if you can see that. See that? Sorry, my capabilities here are a little lacking at the moment. Okay. So, O, it's got that little circle and the little H. That's how I remember O. And then for C, it's simple as A, B, C. Get it? Because A, B, and then C is right after B in the English alphabet. And I know we probably shouldn't be using English, but I think just to get, us started, for me, it was easier to use what I know. So when I see the letter B, I think of C, because that's what comes next. So C, it's as simple as A, B, C. And yo-yos can be tricky, which I don't know about you, but yeah, that's the case. So with yo-yo, I always think of a yo-yo. Real quick, I told you that do represents the sound dodo bird. So do, that's how I remember, is the beak of the dodo bird. And a fun fact, Alice in Wonderland, the cartoon, has one of the characters is a dodo bird. I think it's the sea captain. I forgot to mention that do can also be pronounced as toe. This word right here is I am watching, the aya form, so jiga toasty. Here it's written in phonetics, but you can see that when it's written in phonetics, you can just go ahead and write the toe instead of do. The period right here, every time you see a period, the syllabary will have an alternative sound, I guess you could say. And not a lot of them do this. I think maybe, I don't know. There's a few that do this, but this one I see often, I guess, from what I've learned. But yeah, so that is, I am watching Jiga Toasty. And it's kind of like warm and toasty. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Also, I know that some people don't like to see human feet or toes, but this is how I kind of remember this, that do can be pronounced as toe. I don't know bird anatomy, so excuse me, but this could be a toe, right? The tip of the foot, or I don't know if it's long ways, like this whole thing could be a toe. But either way, I see toes on the dodo bird. So I see do and I see toe. So hopefully that will help you, however it will help you. Ones are fun ones. Try to not make it so blurry. Okay, so we got way. And then we have whoa. But first we're going to do way. Way. As in, the park is a ways away. That's one way I remember, and I'll show you something right after we go to whoa. Basically like whoa. So this is how I remember the differences between the two, because they are sort of similar looking. So basically, we have way right here. And I always think of it, it goes way away. It's just, it goes way over there. So for whoa, I think of whoa, like just stop. So basically this one goes whoa, that stops. So that's how I kind of remember whoa. So remember, way goes away, and whoa is a stop, because it's, what do you say when you want to stop? Whoa! So that's a little fun one. Next three syllabary are u, na, di, which is the word for milk, una di. I was going to try to do these on my computer, but it takes up way too much space, so I'm just going to have to keep using my phone until I figure out something. Anyways, so let's see here. We've got ooh. The U makes an ooh sound, so ew. Now these two can be a little tricky. This is pronounced nuh, I think, nuh-uh, because it's got the U, and it's just, to me, I've got kind of like a connection between these. Like there's the little U here on this little wing, and then this is kind of a little extra. And one thing about Cherokee Syllabary is it's basically like a signature. It's like writing in English. You are going to have certain ways you make your syllabary. The way I do it is I kind of have a little tail on oo, and then on na, I make like a little W. And that helps me. I've seen a lot of people make it like this, but a lot of fonts have it drawn like this. So basically, however you want to draw it, as long as you have a little extra symbol over here, because you don't want it to look like ooh. So that's kind of how I do it. And na, there's two letters in this one, so I kind of have it like as two little spaces for that one. That's one way you can memorize it. Then we have D, u, na, di. D as in vitamin D. This is why I chose the word una di. But of course, in Cherokee, once you think you have everything, they always throw something in that's confusing. So this is the one example of when D and T, they're on the same row, but they are different symbols. These two are even in the same column space, but they, I don't know, I guess T is used so much that they thought it needed its own symbol. Let's see here. So T as in milk or tea. And I draw my D and my T's like this. The only difference is I draw like a little line to make the letter T. For D, that's confusing. But for T, you see this little hook here? It kind of has like a little overhang porch. Just think, where do you like to sip your tea? You can sip it on the porch. So those are my U, Na, D plus T. So now to show you what an actual J does look like, so you don't have to Google it like I almost did and didn't realize I had it on the keyboard. There are two symbols that face this way. The first is Jew. It's got the TS sound in front, so that TS make a J sound. So Jew. The jujube, I didn't know that it actually existed until I got curious and looked it up. And if you look closely, there's a hidden jujube within the word, or within the syllabary Jew. The next one looks like the letter J, but it's pronounced goo. I remembered it because of the late 90s, early 2000s. That's kind of when I was learning the syllabary. I remembered the Goo Goo Dolls. Their lead singer his name is John Resnick, I believe, but he also goes by John Rez. I think it's pretty fitting. So John Rez is the singer of the Goo Goo Dolls. You can kind of see that connection there. I'm thankful for them though, because or the band and him, because it helped me create kind of a way to see the four characters that look the same, but it kind of helped me when I laid it out like this to see which ones faced one way and which ones faced the other, and the pronunciation with even Ju and Gu sounds similar in the J and the G sounds. So just remember that they're closer to the original J alphabet letter. So next we have dot, dot, dot. First dot, so. This one to me, I didn't struggle too much with it because you just take so, you take the O from so, and you move it, and you flip it on its side, and it's actually hidden in the syllabary. So that symbol is pronounced so. Then we have ja, as in jalagi. The TS creates a ja sound. How I remember it is ja, it looks an awful lot like an actual jaw, like someone screaming. The little dot can be a tongue or a lip, but that's what I always think of. I'm like, oh, it looks like someone's jaw. They're screaming and yelling. So just think of that when you see jaw, if you don't know the jalagi, the three there. Sorry. Then we have, it looks like an I. It is actually pronounced This is how I remember it. I use a lot, and I do. I hope I don't use it too much when I'm doing these mini lessons, so please forgive me if I am. Basically, those are the ones that I remember that have, to me, what look like little dots. So, ja, and For this lesson, are you ready for this? So a lot of the characters are similar to the alphabet, and these two kind of take the place. They look like the letter R. So first we have E, and then we have Sa. The way I tell the difference between E and Sa, A, first off, is one of the vowels, so it's important to remember that one for sure. But it reminds me of somebody walking, kind of kicking their foot and saying, just kind of like kicking the dirt, like, whatever. With Sa, basically, it looks like a regular R. And even, that's pretty much how I write it, is how I type it. All I do is when I write it, I add that little kick at the end for E. So if you can think of something for Sa, let me know. So for this lesson, it's pretty similar to the two that look like R, except these two look like the letter B. So as you can see, they're little bees. The first is pronounced yay, and I always think yay, and how you get excited, you just kind of kick it off and kick it off. So when I see that, I just think, oh, yay, it got excited and it just kept going and going. And for this one, over here, it's pronounced ya. You know? And the only reason why I know this, the only reason I kind of put that is because it helps me remember ya, as in, you know. But if you remember the way this one looks, you won't have to try to differentiate, because this one is so different if you can remember that it kind of is more circular and it just kind of keeps going in both directions. W-I, we is just a little person sliding down. Wee. Then we have na. Na is not about that. Na is just na. I mean, it's just straight up. I'm not, you know, I'm just straight up na. So that's how I tell we and na apart. And then we got me. On a scale from 0 to 10, how are you feeling? 0 to 1 being meh. So, yeah, hopefully this is another short and sweet lesson that will stick with you. 2 syllabary that look like the number 4. So we have say. Say, one word that always pops up into my mind when I think of say is ÇÉségᎩ, which is corn. And I love jokes. And so what do you do when you hear a joke? You laugh. Ha. Ha ha ha. So to remember this one, here are some corny jokes. What did the corn say when he was complimented? Aw shucks. And then, ha ha ha. What did the baby corn ask the mama corn? Where's popcorn? And then you can say, ha ha ha. Should you eat corn that has fallen off the stalk? May as well. So we've got say and ha. So just think corny jokes. That's what you gotta think of. And what are corny jokes? Some people laugh. I'm a laugher, so this is how I remember say and ha. For this lesson, we have na, mo, ma, and yi. First, we have ma, this symbol. So the one word I think of when I see ma is kamama, which, depending on how you pronounce, can either be butterfly or it can be elephant. To me, ma kind of reminds me of elephant ear with its trunk. So, kamama. And then, for those, if you're familiar with the Three Stooges, this is Mo. Mo, he's the one that looks like he could be native. This reminds me of his haircut. The plain and simple for me, Mo. Then we have Yi. Who says ye? In my mind, it's a cowboy. And I think of a cowboy dancing, kicking up his boots. So, ye, as in yeehaw, ye. Then we got na. This is that nasalized H sound. And if you're familiar with the glasses holders, I kind of see this as to remind me to make that nasalized H, na. I think of a glasses holder, and that kind of reminds me to remember to add that H sound for na. So we have na, mo, yi, and ma. One is pretty easy in my mind just because there's only 2. Right here we have J. And I simply think of junior varsity, JV. It looks like the V, but that's the way you pronounce J. So JV, J. Then we have Guo. To me, I see a lot of O's in there. Or O, circular shapes that remind me of O. So I think between these two, you've got JV, the J, and then Guo, lots of O's within the fancy Guo. So for this mini lesson, we have ni, ji, and me. Ni, ji, me. So first, ni, as in the word ni, and the syllabary character to me reminds me of just somebody sitting there and their knees out. So, ni. Then you have ji. Similar to ni, but I think of like somebody extra fancy, and when I think of that, I think of, like kicking their leg out, just kind of being like Mr. GQ. G, there's just being extra. And then you got me. This one is like a personal one for me because people think I look just like my dad. Harry. Harry starts with an H. People see me and my dad's. So they think I look just like him. So yeah, when I see the H, I think, oh, me. So usually I like to try to be a little more animated, but everyone's sleeping right now, and this is the best time for me to make videos. Okay, so first we have ho, as in ho ho ho. It's literally in ho ho ho, so that's how I remember ho. Then we have gay. Gay can also be pronounced as K. And I always picture somebody happy, as in, you know, they're gay, and is in the happy sense. And they're waving a flag. There's a little person that they're holding a flag, gay. Then we have he. I imagine a little hay bale within the syllabary symbol or character. Oh, I gotta get that straight. Then we have la. And when I draw this one, this is the only one that I include sharp points to, sharp angles for la. And then we have new, like a new potato. But also I kind of think of this as like a pair. They go together, they look brand new. So these 5 symbols kind of look the same, but they're all a little different. And once you kind of break it down, so hopefully this helps when you see these ones. Okay, so you should know ghee because of jelly ghee, but another way I remember it is ÇέχᎩ, and that means dog, and I see 2 little ears and a tail. And then you have mu over here with the little lines. That's basically the way you differentiate. It's kind of got a little more hook here. I think of moody because of the way you pronounce it, moo, as in moody. So that's how I tell those 2 apart. So for this one, I didn't really do a lot because I didn't want to make it too complicated. Basically, ga and gua, they are in the same column on the syllabary chart, and the way I tell them apart is ga looks like the basic E. When you add the gua, it adds the extra U and the Q-U sound, and it's a lot, it's extra. We'll just say it's extra. So the extra E is the one with the extra, I guess, consonant or vowel. So it's gua. So you have ga and gua. So just think ga is the, I guess, the plain one, or the basic one, and gua is extra. Okay, I'm gonna keep this real simple, or as simple as I can. These are the syllabary to me that kind of are grouped together in my mind as being similar. The first 2, we have ta and la. Ta has the crisscross in it. It's the W that looks like the crisscross, and to me, it kind of symbolizes a T when it crisscrosses, so I automatically think ta. Then we have la. These both appear in the same column but different rows on the chart. But if you think about it, this syllabary symbol has 2 just lines and there's no crisscross, so it's just la, because they're it's made up of L's. So we have la and ta. Then we have this little guy, the M. My mom's name is Mary, and she always taught me that only certain people are allowed to lulu. So for my personal device, I think of my mom, Mary, and that the Lulu is reserved for a certain group of people that have the, I guess, the ability or the, I can't think right now, but the privilege to make the Lulu sound. So my mom being Mary, and obviously my mom for that end symbol. So ta, la, and lu. Okay, so here we have da or ta and su. So da, you can think of da. It has the actual sound in it. I can see a D and a V, and so when I see it, it takes me a moment for it to register, and then I'm like, oh yeah, duh, it's duh. I put this one in here as a reminder. Some of these can look similar in some ways, or they all have a little different shape, but once you get to know it, it'll be just quick. You'll say, that's ma, da, ta, su. So it's just, you know, at first they all, it's difficult to distinguish which is which, but you get it eventually. And for Sue, I think of a girl named Sue wearing a scarf, and her scarf is flying in the wind. So we have da, ta, and Sue. Okay, so here are the two we have today, ja and you. When I see this symbol, I think of a light bulb, and light in Cherokee is adjusty, and within the light bulb is the symbol. They have that filament. That's kind of what it reminds me of, the filament in the light bulb. And I think of the word adjusty. Then we have you. I think the font gave it a little extra squiggly line here, but usually there's just two little, it's almost like a W. And for this symbol, it has the word you. There's the Y up top. I picture a Y up there. So every time I see that little sharp squiggle, I imagine the Y. And it is spelled Y-U, but pronounced as you. The other one is spelled T-S-V, ja. And the V makes the sound, so ja, adjusty. So ja and you.